Imagine you are standing on a platform made of light, hanging in the black nothing between stars. Below you, the galaxy spreads out like a burning wheel. 100 billion suns caught in the middle of an endless cosmic dance. You feel small. You feel amazed. And then you feel something else. A slow, creeping realization that no matter which direction you run, you may never leave this room. Because you are inside the Milky Way. And you may never get out. At first, this feels impossible. Space is supposed to be freedom, isn't it? Endless. Open. A frontier without walls. That's the story we've been told since childhood. That if we build the right ship, wait long enough, and dream big enough, we could point ourselves toward another galaxy and simply go. But something is wrong with that story. From here, the galaxy looks peaceful. Soft spiral arms drift outward like smoke frozen in place. Stars glitter across the darkness. From a distance, it looks like the kind of place you could simply walk out of, if you had enough time. But distance in space does not behave the way distance behaves on Earth. Our closest major galactic neighbor, Andromeda, is about 2.5 million light-years away. Light is the fastest thing in the universe. And even light would need roughly 2.5 million years just to reach it. Not a person. Not a spacecraft. A message. And that's the close one. But here's the problem. Even if you somehow built a ship capable of traveling at the speed of light, something physics says is impossible for anything made of matter, the journey would still be almost incomprehensible. You would leave one world. And generations upon generations would pass before anyone could ever arrive. Entire civilizations could rise and disappear in the space between goodbye and hello. You are not looking at a horizon. You are looking at a wall built out of time itself. Now zoom out further. Because it gets worse. The universe is not just big. It is actively pulling itself apart. Every galaxy that is not gravitationally bound to us is moving farther away, driven by something we call dark energy. We can measure what it does. But we still don't truly know what it is. And what it does is erase our options. Right now, there are galaxies whose light will never reach us. Not because they are simply too far away. But because the space between us and them is expanding in a way that prevents their light from ever crossing the distance. They are not just disappearing into the horizon. They are disappearing out of reach. Forever. Imagine watching a distant island slowly vanish beneath an endless ocean. Now imagine that happening to entire galaxies. Billions of years from now, an observer standing where you are standing today could look into the night sky and see almost nothing beyond our own local group. No obvious evidence of distant galaxies. No visible reminder that the universe was once filled with countless islands of stars. Just one isolated cosmic island surrounded by darkness. And that future is not some science fiction possibility. It is the direction the universe is moving. But that's not even the worst part. Because being trapped is not only about distance. It's also about what's waiting inside the trap with you. Picture yourself drifting toward the center of the Milky Way. 26,000 light-years from Earth. At the heart of our galaxy sits something that does not simply bend space. It pushes gravity to an extreme. Sagittarius A star. A supermassive black hole with a mass roughly 4 million times greater than our Sun. It sits in darkness, surrounded by stars, gas, and violent magnetic fields. And the closer you get, the stranger reality becomes. Gravity stops feeling like a force. It becomes a sentence. Your feet would be pulled harder than your head. Your body would begin stretching under enormous tidal forces. Scientists call this spaghettification. You would not simply be injured. You would be stretched apart at the atomic level. Unmade by gravity itself. And you would not even need to cross the event horizon for the environment around the galactic core to become deadly. The center of our own galaxy is a violent place. Radiation. Extreme magnetic fields. Energetic particles. Flares erupting from the region around the black hole. A place that looks beautiful from thousands of light years away could become a death sentence the moment you enter it. This is the center of your own home. And it is trying to kill you. You might think there is an easy solution. Fine. Stay away from the center. Stay out here, in the quiet suburbs of the Milky Way, where our sun lives. It sounds safe. But here's the problem. The danger does not stay in one place. Our galaxy is not a static painting hanging in space. It is a machine of moving parts. Stars orbit. Gas clouds collide. Black holes grow. And entire galaxies move through the darkness. One of those galaxies is Andromeda, our closest major galactic neighbor. And it is coming toward us. In roughly 4 billion years, the Milky Way and Andromeda will begin a massive gravitational encounter. It will not be an explosion like something from a science fiction movie. It will be a merger. Two enormous galaxies, each containing hundreds of billions of stars, passing through one another in a slow cosmic collision. The night sky would become almost unrecognizable. Andromeda would grow larger and larger above the horizon. Its stars would spread across the sky. Its gravitational pull would reshape the orbits of countless stars. Gas clouds would crash together. New stars could ignite. And the supermassive black holes at the centers of both galaxies could eventually spiral toward one another. The entire event could unfold over hundreds of millions of years. And here's the terrifying part. Even though the galaxies would collide, individual stars would rarely collide directly. Space is simply too empty. But that doesn't mean your solar system would remain where it is. Gravity could send stars into completely different orbits. Our sun could be pushed toward another region of the merged galaxy. Or, in a less likely but possible scenario, the solar system could be thrown into the cold darkness between galaxies. Imagine looking up at the sky and watching the familiar Milky Way disappear. No comfortable constellation. No familiar galactic band. Just darkness surrounding a distant, distorted galaxy. You would not feel like an astronaut anymore. You would feel like debris. And this is where the real horror begins. Because even the so-called safe zones are not actually safe. Cosmic rays constantly travel through the galaxy. Particles accelerated to almost the speed of light by ancient stellar explosions can cross enormous distances. You cannot see them. You cannot hear them. And you cannot simply step aside. They pass through space around you, carrying enough energy to damage living cells and DNA. Somewhere in the darkness, rogue stars drift without planets. And distant cosmic events release enormous bursts of energy. We call some of these events fast radio bursts. We know they exist. We know some repeat. But for many of them, we still don't completely understand what produces them. The galaxy is full of things we can observe, but cannot fully predict. There is no perfect safe zone. Not at the edge. Not at the center. And not even here, in the quiet neighborhood we call home. And now we reach the final horror. The quiet one. The one that does not need a black hole. It does not need a collision. It does not need radiation. Because even if none of those things ever kills you, there is still one fact you cannot escape. You are trapped inside something enormous. The Milky Way is roughly 100,000 light-years across. Your entire world exists inside this enormous structure of stars, gas, dust, black holes, and invisible forces. And beyond it is a universe that is expanding. The farther you look, the more distant galaxies become. And eventually, some of them will disappear beyond our ability to ever reach them. We used to think of space as an invitation. An open door. A frontier waiting for us to cross it. But maybe space is something else. Maybe it is a cell. Beautiful. Vast. Full of light. But still a cell. The universe was never built on human scales. It was built on distances that make the idea of leaving almost meaningless. Distances measured not in miles, but in millions of years. Forces that can separate galaxies before we could ever reach them. And a center so violent that getting too close could tear you apart before you ever understood what was happening. The terrifying part is not that the universe is empty. It is that the universe is full. And yet so much of it may remain permanently beyond our reach. So tonight, look up. Look at that soft band of light stretching across the sky. We call it the Milky Way. But it is not a ceiling. It is the entire house. Every star you can see. Every star you cannot see. Every planet. Every black hole. Every cloud of gas. Every distant light that has traveled for thousands, millions, or billions of years just to reach your eyes. All of it exists inside the same enormous cosmic structure. This is where humanity was born. Every human who ever lived looked into this same galaxy. Every civilization. Every war. Every discovery. And now we reach the final horror. The quiet one. The one that does not need a black hole. It does not need a collision. It does not need radiation. Because even if none of those things ever kills you, there is still one fact you cannot escape. You are trapped inside something enormous. The Milky Way is roughly 100,000 light-years across. Your entire world exists inside this enormous structure of stars, gas, dust, black holes, and invisible forces. And beyond it is a universe that is expanding. The farther you look, the more distant galaxies become. And eventually, some of them will disappear beyond our ability to ever reach them. We used to think of space as an invitation. An open door. A frontier waiting for us to cross it. But maybe space is something else. Maybe it is a cell. Beautiful. Vast. Full of light. But still a cell. The universe was never built on human scales. It was built on distances that make the idea of leaving almost meaningless. Distances measured not in miles, but in millions of years. Forces that can separate galaxies before we could ever reach them. And a center so violent that getting too close could tear you apart before you ever understood what was happening. The terrifying part is not that the universe is empty. It is that the universe is full. And yet so much of it may remain permanently beyond our reach. So tonight, look up. Look at that soft band of light stretching across the sky. We call it the Milky Way. But it is not a ceiling. It is the entire house. Every star you can see. Every star you cannot see. Every planet. Every black hole. Every cloud of gas. Every distant light that has traveled for thousands, millions, or billions of years just to reach your eyes. All of it exists inside the same enormous cosmic structure. This is where humanity was born. Every human who ever lived looked into this same galaxy. Every civilization. Every war. Every discovery. Every dream of reaching another world. All of it happened inside this one cosmic room. We call it home. And maybe, one day, we will build machines powerful enough to cross enormous distances. Maybe we will reach other stars. Maybe we will even send probes beyond our galaxy. But there is another possibility. That no matter how advanced we become, no matter how powerful our engines are, no matter how long we survive, the universe itself may always be larger than our ability to escape it. Because we may never truly leave the room. We may simply become better at exploring the walls. And that is perhaps the strangest thing about our universe. It gives us an endless sky. Then builds the distance between the stars so vast that leaving home may never mean what we think it means. We look into the darkness and see freedom. But the deeper we understand the cosmos, the more it begins to look like a beautiful prison. And maybe the most frightening question is not whether we can escape the Milky Way. Maybe it is whether there is anywhere else we can ever call home. There is one final thought worth sitting with. For most of human history, the night sky looked like a collection of distant lights. We saw stars. We imagined worlds. We looked at the darkness between them and assumed it was simply empty space waiting to be crossed. But now we know better. That darkness is filled with distance. With time. With gravity. With radiation. With entire galaxies moving through a universe that is changing beneath our feet. And the strange thing is, we are still here. On one small planet. Orbiting one ordinary star. Inside one ordinary region of one enormous galaxy. We are not at the center. We are not special in any obvious cosmic sense. And yet, somehow, we are capable of looking out and realizing how trapped we might be. That realization should not make us feel hopeless. It should make us understand what we actually have. Because this planet is not just the place where we happen to begin. It is the place that made us possible. The air. The oceans. The sunlight. The magnetic field. The thin layer of atmosphere protecting every living thing from the violence outside. All of it exists inside a tiny region of an unimaginably large universe. And for now, this is the only world we know for certain that can hold us. So when you look into the night sky, remember what you are actually seeing. You are not looking into an empty ocean. You are looking across millions and billions of years. Some of the light reaching your eyes began its journey before human civilization existed. Some of those stars may already be gone. Some galaxies you can see may already be separated from us forever by the expansion of space. And still, their ancient light arrives. It crosses the darkness. It reaches Earth. And for a brief moment, it reaches you. Maybe that is the strangest part of all. We may be trapped inside the Milky Way. We may never reach most of the galaxies we can see. But perhaps there is something even more unsettling about being trapped inside the Milky Way. The universe does not care whether we escape. It does not wait for us. It does not slow down. Galaxies continue moving. Stars continue burning. Black holes continue feeding. And space itself continues expanding. One day, the sky we know today will look completely different. The distant galaxies will fade. The familiar cosmic landscape will become darker. And eventually, the universe may become an increasingly isolated place. But tonight, that future is still far away. Tonight, the Milky Way is still above you. Thousands of stars are still shining. And somewhere in that enormous spiral, our tiny blue planet is still turning beneath your feet. For a few seconds, forget about the black holes. Forget about the radiation. Forget about the impossible distances. Just look at the sky. Every point of light is part of something much larger than anything humanity could ever build. And yet, somehow, one species on one small planet learned to look up and ask a question that may have no easy answer. Can we ever leave? Maybe the answer is no. Maybe the laws of physics have already drawn a boundary around